Hey everyone, and welcome to the Entrepreneur Pod Guide, created to share the collective wisdom of everyday entrepreneurs who are bringing their visions to life, the ones in the arena. We've all read the same billionaire books, but what about the wisdom from the entrepreneur next door? The ones building, learning, failing forward, and figuring it out one step at a time. I'm your host, Britt Rodriguez, and every episode we're bringing you honest conversations, fresh insights, and lessons from entrepreneurs just like you. This is your place to learn, grow, and get inspired by your fellow business owners who are actually out there building businesses today, not just dreaming about them. So, let's get started.
Today's guest is someone who truly embodies what it means to live with purpose, resilience, and intention. Known as Mr. Move It, Masada has spent over 35 years helping people unlock their potential, take action, and move forward in both business and life. From being born a refugee in Zambia, to building a life and career across multiple continents, to impacting over 100,000 people through his work. His journey is as powerful as the message he shares. In this episode, Britt and Mr. Move It dive into what it really means to take action, why most people stay stuck, and how to build a life driven by purpose, not just profit. If you've ever felt like you're capable of more, this conversation is going to challenge you in the best way. Let's get into it.
Masada, also known as Mr. Move It. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so
Yes,
happy to
thank
have you.
you.
I'm so glad to have you. I've chatted with you before. You are just full of wisdom, and I'm so happy to share all your knowledge with the people listening today.
I love that. Wisdom is knowledge mixed with experience.
Oh,
So, yes.
yes, and that is you. You've got so much. So I love that you're going to share that with us today. So tell us, now I know about you, but please tell our audience who you are and what you are doing with your business right now.
I was born in Africa, in Zambia, as a refugee. Grew up in South America, in British Guyana, and in Jamaica. I did my high school in Zimbabwe, the country where my parents come from. I studied in Liverpool, in the UK, and then I worked in London for a year before I then moved to Austria. And I've been in the city of Graz. This is where Arnold Schwarzenegger originally comes from. I've been here for 30. So everything I do comes under the umbrella of Movetivation. That's the philosophy.
One thing I loved, you had mentioned me before about your career path. So you have never been employed. You have been your own boss always, which I think is fascinating. And I don't know that many people can say that. So what made you realize that early on? And you were like, no, this is for me. This is the way I'm going to go. I'm going to be my own boss,
All right.
and I am not going to be an employee.
Okay. Um, I grew up with the British system, so we had secondary school, and you had the O levels, and then you had the A levels, and then after the A levels, you go to university, right? So when I finished my O levels, around 16, 17, um, I said to my dad, who was an entrepreneur running his own business, things that he had built himself. We went from, rags to riches story, the whole thing. He did that. And I was working for my dad in his company, because all the boys had to help. It was like we had to do it. It was mandatory.
Right.
And I was, I enjoyed it. And I said to him, you know what you do? That's easy stuff, Um, it's not for me, but it's easy stuff. And he said, yeah, you talk too much. You say it's easy. If you think it's easy, why don't you do it? Then I said to him, you know what? I'll do it for 24 months. I'll give you 2 years and I'll work with you for 2 years. And boy, did I work with him for 2 years, 8 days a week. I'm telling you, that was that was heavy. At the end of the 2 years, I had had success because I'd learned the stuff. I'd been doing the things. and everything was there, and I felt empty.
Mm.
The money was there, everything was in place and everything. And then my voice, my own voice said to me, "This is not for you.
Mm.
This is not your path. You got other things to do." So I thought to myself, having the financial success at a very early age, I wasn't even 20, I was still in my teens.
Wow.
And I realized that life is not about the money. You can feel empty when you have money.
Yep.
I felt it.
Yep.
I felt it. And I said to my dad, I would like to get paid. He said, "Oh, you work it's family business? You take the amount of money you need for whatever you need, and you would just document it like the way everything else is done. Why do you want a salary? That's the worst thing that can happen to you, you know?" So that's where I knew
Mm.
that I can't work for somebody else and
Right.
build their dream. And I knew that I would need to work for myself and build my dream.
Mm.
Then the limiting beliefs started popping in because what I studied physics, applied physics. That's what I studied in Liverpool. And what I studied, you would need a lab, you would need you need a lot of things to be the infrastructure to be in place for it to work. If you're not going to find somebody, get a job and just work for a company that has everything, and you
Right.
just get that paycheck. So if you're going to build this from the ground up, of which was one of my goals, I wanted to use the family money to start off something big. That's what I wanted to do. And then I found myself in Europe. I found myself in Austria. And I said, no, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to make it work. So I became the asset. And now comes a very, very important story in my life. My dad was really, really upset.
Mm.
And the why I'm saying really, really upset is because I don't use swear words. I try to avoid them, right? I don't think they're necessary,
Yeah.
right? Right. So my dad was really upset that I wasn't going to come back home and take over the family business and work with him, and grow the business and do whatever. He says you could do whatever you want with the family business money. You can build other business branches. And I just said, no, I want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
I want to do my own thing. And then my father said to me, "I'm really disappointed that you're not coming back home, but you've got all the skills and everything that you need. You will find your way wherever you are." That I know.
Oh,
And I
great.
still live off that,
Mm.
and he said that in his anger,
Wow.
you know? So that was the push.
Nice.
That's the push. And that's where I want to help so many people believe in themselves because that's the step. That's the first step, man. If you can believe it, you can get it.
Yeah.
One thing about me, um, I've left a lot of money on the table. A lot, a lot of money. Really a lot. and and the reason is I will not take money or do something that I know is not beneficial to all participants.
Mm.
Never done it, never will do it.
Yeah.
You know? Um, Very important for me because that keeps all my body cells healthy.
Yes.
I say profit is good, but it must come in a good way.
Yes. Yes. That should be an anchoring quote for all of us. Profit is good and it must come in a good way. Now, I'm going to pivot a little because I have something I think is so unique about your approach to coaching people and to your work with Movetivation. So a lot of coaches, and I have some. I actually have one right now. And the way that they go is, you have a weekly or monthly call on a certain day, a certain time, and it's great. And you have your conversations. You're supposed to do stuff before you get back, but you, Mister Move It, Masada, you do it very differently, and I love it. It is a very interesting way that you get your with any clients that you work with. You don't have like a standing Tuesday 4 o'clock call with them. Can you explain to the audience how and I think the way you approach it is one of the best things I've ever heard for getting results from people. And I love your approach to coaching, and I think more people should do it. So can you explain how you do your unique take in booking with your clients and what they help you before they
All
can
right.
chat with you? I love
Okay.
this.
Okay. Thank you. I will keep it simple. What does a swimmer do?
They hop in the pool and swim.
Exactly. What does a runner do?
You get outside and run.
Exactly. What does a cyclist do?
Hop on that bike and start pedaling.
That's it. So
Yeah.
you got to be a doer.
Yes.
Now, now there are people have been in, you know, political scene where somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, I'm a cyclist." And I look at them and I go, "Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, 20 years ago, I used to cycle." I said, "Oh, now you're talking because, me looking at you, you look like you need some exercise,
Yeah.
you know, and they don't do anything anymore.
Right.
So they're living on the dreams of the past.
Mm.
Now, what does an entrepreneur do? They
They
do. They do whatever it is that they're doing. You got to be a doer. So
yes.
for me, the only proof I have that you're moving forward is when you've done it.
Yes.
So that's why we have a conversation. You tell me what you're going to do. It's your coaching call. It's your thing. So you tell me what you're going to do. We're going to agree on it. I'm going to help you, guide you a little bit. And when you have done it, that's the point when you're going to get your next coaching call.
Yeah. They can't come
So
to you if they haven't, right?
no, don't come to me if you haven't.
Yeah. They
I'm
have
not a
to complete it.
babysitter. I'm not a babysitter. I'm just not a babysitter. So babysit yourself. And when you've done the work, you get back to me. And people come up to me, "Oh, my grandmother died and the dog is sick. I had to go to the vet and I had this." And I said, "Hey, you know what? Life happens. I
Mhm.
know that. I can tell you stories about myself. Life happens and it happens to everybody.
Mm.
There's nobody where life doesn't happen. So I understand that you can't come to every appointment. If you have a cohort with 12 people, there will never be there, all 12 of them. The, one or two will have to watch the recording.
Right.
There is life happens. That's how it is. So I can only measure you by you doing what you said you were going to do to move you forward. That's all I want for you. And I have no emotion. I just have the belief in you
Mm.
that you believe in yourself so much that you're going to do the things that you have to do that will move you forward in life, in business and in life.
Mm.
You know, I was having a coaching call with somebody once and they told me all these fantastic things that they're doing. And I said, "Hey, do you have a family?" "Oh, yeah, 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 I do." And I said, "How much time do you spend with them? Where do they fit?" It goes, "Oh, no, at the moment, I just told my family for the next 90 days, I'm not there and everything." And I said, "Why not do the other way around?
Mm.
Make them important and then work your program around them.
Wow.
Say, I have only 3 hours for you now.
Mm.
And in the fourth hour, I'm going to spend the time. And you know what? The family will let you work.
Nice.
Turn that around. I says, "Oh, is that a?" I said, "Yeah, those are the kind of tips that I give people.
Mm.
Those are the kind of tips that I give people." And somebody says, "So, what skill set? What is it that people really want from you as Mr. Move It and Movetivation?" I'm looking for people who want to walk from New York to Florida,
Yeah.
and then they ask me, "How do you walk?" And I tell you, you put one foot after the other, and you keep going until you hit Florida from
Mm.
New York, right? Choose your city in Florida. Just choose it, you know?
Orlando, where I am.
Orlando. Okay, let's go to Orlando.
We
New
gotta
York
do
to
Orlando.
Orlando,
Love it.
right? And then I'll tell you when you get to Orlando, when we reach that goal, you might see Brittany.
Mm.
You might get the trophy. It might not be there anymore. It might be somewhere else. Back might be New York now. So you got to be prepared to walk back.
Mm.
So what's the whole point? The point is not the goal. The
Mm.
point is enjoying the journey
Right.
and making that step by step by step by step. Enjoy that. Get to Orlando. Say, oh, the trophy is in New York. I have to go back. Then
Mhm.
walk step by step, but just keep going until. That's what most of us don't have.
Right.
That resilience, that commitment to oneself. Not say, you commit to me, you tell me now, no. Go down, do 20 push ups and pull ups, and no, 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 no. You got to want to do this.
Yeah. Which is
And
that motivation
often,
piece, like you
right.
said.
And it's, it's, it's knowing what you want.
Yeah.
If you really know what you want, how to get it will come to you.
Right. Exactly. And I love how and let's use that example of going from New York to Orlando. Um, so what I love is, someone's like, okay, I want to go from New York to Orlando. They come to you, they tell you, they figure that part out at least. And you're like, great, how are we going to do it? Let's go. And then they're like, okay, well, let me start first. I'm going to go from, New York down to Philly. Okay. And you don't go, okay, so we're going to talk next week.
Let's go. Next step.
Yeah, you don't have to hang out in Philly for the week. Let's get on to your
No, no,
let's
let's
keep it
get to
moving.
yeah. Now you're in Philly. Do you need rest?
Mm.
Oh, yes, I think you should rest. Take a yoga class, do some breathing exercises, do this, stay one more day before you make your next move.
Yeah,
So you have a rest day. And when you finish with the rest day, contact me and let's plan out the next city.
it's amazing. It's so
So
cool.
that contact, that coming together doesn't always mean more work and more everything. It's just inputs,
Yeah.
just a little
It's
input.
amazing, and it's all action focused. It's doing
Yes,
focused.
yes,
It's results and, they have to show up.
exactly,
Or they don't get to even get involved in the coaching. Like, they really
exactly.
have to be willing and wanting this for their
Right.
lives, and I think it inspires so much action, and I hope a lot of people who are listening can apply some of these things, and in fact, let's talk about, like, an entrepreneur which, by the way, do you coach entrepreneurs, or is it more on movement focused?
No, for me,
Healthfuls.
I'm looking to coach more people who are running a business, even if they have a small team or a large team, because it's just I am the fuel for your vehicle.
Mm,
So if you have a rocket and you're going to Mars, I'm the propulsion fuel.
nice.
That's all I am. I'm the fuel. If you're in the fields and you're driving a tractor, then I'm your diesel,
Mm,
right? And if you say, well, I just want to ride my bicycle, then I'm looking at muscle power, pedaling
yeah,
power. I'm just the fuel. And when you say to me, you're taking that walk from New York to Orlando, I'm telling you that, you're going to need a lot of fuel.
Yeah.
You're going to need to pace yourself. And I'll say to you, why do you want to get to Orlando? What's
Mm.
so important about that?
Yeah.
It's got to be clear. You got to be very clear. And I'll say, how do you know you've got to Orlando?
Mm.
How do you know? How would you know? What will be the sign?
I'm gonna see the Disney sign, and I'm gonna know I'm there.
Right.
That could be very clear. And so oh, you say you're in Orlando? Have you seen the sign yet? That's what you told me. So
Exactly.
and then, yeah, like,
Exactly.
"Yes, yes, Masada, I saw it. I have a picture of me by the sign." Well, guess what? You did it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm supporting you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you to reach any goal.
Mm.
I'm just here for support.
Yeah.
I'm not here to judge you.
Right.
All right. For me, personal development is you being an asset as well.
Mm.
So the more developed you are, the more you can attract.
Mm. Yeah.
And the more you can attract, even money, more love, more friends, more abundance, more. You just attract more. I don't want to keep it, I don't want to keep this thing only on money. More health,
Mm.
you know? So this is the way it is. And one thing as well that I discovered, I- it felt painful when I heard it. The people with a lot of money, I'm talking money now, who say, you know, I'm giving back to society. I'm giving back. I'm giving back to these people. I'm giving back. And I just say to myself, no, you're not giving back. It's your duty to give.
Mm.
If you borrow money from the bank, you take a loan, you have to give it back. Oh, they're coming to take your house and your car and your family and your clothes. They're coming to
Yep.
get it because the, you have to give it back,
Right.
right? So when you give from abundance, you're giving.
Mm.
So don't say, "Oh, I'm giving back." No, just say, "I'm giving,"
Yeah.
because it's my birthright to give.
Yes. Duty. Duty and birthright. Yeah.
Right.
Fantastic. I love
Right.
that. That's true generosity there. It's not a reciprocation. I'm just giving.
Exactly.
I love that. It's so
And
good.
it's the giving that starts the receiving process.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
This episode is sponsored by our guest, Mr. Move It. If you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, or someone who knows they're capable of more but feels stuck actually taking action, Mr. Move It's coaching business is built for you. Mr. Move It doesn't believe in traditional coaching where you just show up to calls and talk about ideas. His philosophy is simple. You don't move forward by talking, you move forward by doing. With Mr. Move It, you'll get a results-driven approach to growth where your next session doesn't happen until you've taken real action. It's designed for people who are serious about progress, not excuses. Whether you're trying to grow your business, increase your income, or simply become the person you know you're meant to be, it gives you the structure, mindset, and accountability to actually make it happen. To learn more, visit mrmoveit.org and start moving forward today.
Yes, and I also had situations where one of my children would come to me, usually the middle one. She would come to me and she'd say, "Are you working right now or are you free?"
Sweet.
you know,
Sweet question.
um, because entrepreneurs, we're always busy being busy.
Mhm. Yes, we are.
Then
There's
then I
no off
say,
switch sometimes. Yeah.
no,
I don't work
no,
from this time to this time, and then I'm free. No, it could be 24/7 if we allowed it.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'd say, no, I can make time for you. What would you like to do?
Mm.
I'd like to go and play tennis. Okay, can you give me half an hour? Yeah, then take the tennis stuff and we go and play tennis.
I love that.
You know,
Yeah.
and some people are saying make more money so that you can play tennis with your child. I'm going, I play tennis with my child already.
Yeah.
I don't need to make more money to be able to do that.
I already do that. Yeah. So I do have a question because you've been an entrepreneur truly your whole life. Um, how did it, have you had seasons where things are drier? Like, have you had, because you have such a peaceful relationship with financials, with money, with abundance. And I'd love to hear how you handle that, especially like did you ever have limited mindset? Did you ever have times where things felt a little tight? And if so, how did you get through those times?
Right. I made the biggest mistake of my life in that with the things that I was doing as an entrepreneur as well to build my business were all in just one industry.
Mm,
So when C-19 hit, when
mm,
COVID hit, my industry got shut down,
mm.
completely shut down. Zero,
Wow. Yeah.
right? For 2.5 years,
Oof.
right?
Mm,
So 2.5 years, literally no income,
wow.
living off what I had saved and with my partner as well. That was life.
Mm,
So I knew certain things had to go, had to cut down on spending, you know, reduce the bills as much as possible. And this is also the point where I decided never to let online disappear again because I was the offline person.
mm.
Old school, my generation, offline. We speak to real people and all this and forget the computer. And you know how it exploded with the online world during the COVID period,
Right.
right? So for me, it's it's very important. It's very important to always be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel
Mm,
and to know that at the end of the tunnel there is light.
yeah.
That's a given. But in the meantime, shine your own light to see the next step because you only have to make one step. So take your torch, take your light from your phone and just make that one step because that one step counts right now. And just
Right.
make the next step and make the next step. And the other people are screaming, I'm in the dark, I'm in the dark, I'm in the dark. Just say, hey, do you have a light? Do you have your phone? Just make one step and make that sit.
Mm,
Make that sit. And fear or being happy, you can learn to get rid of fear. Doesn't matter the situation. The situation you can't change that, but you can be not afraid in the situation and find your strength in it. Back to that darkness, you know, look up. You might see the furthest star you've ever seen
mm.
because it's so dark.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have that opportunity if you keep your head down all the time. You got to look around, see what you can see in the dark. There is something there.
Mm.
Everything happens for a reason.
Oh.
So for me, it's about believing in tomorrow that it's going to be better and that now is here to teach you something.
Mm,
Life is happening for you, not to you, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So this is the way that I look at it. Um, I've gone through myself, I've gone through really, really tough times. But all tough times come to an end.
Mm, what a good reminder. It feels when you're in them like that they won't. Like you said, they just will go on forever.
Exactly.
And this is why
Exactly.
people need you as a coach because you remind them, you know what? This
Exactly.
this will pass.
Exactly. We all know that after day comes the night, and after night
Mm.
comes the day. There's never been a double night.
Yeah.
It might look long. It might look long and really dark.
Yeah.
But you know what comes after the darkest moment?
The light.
Exactly. The light. The light comes after the darkest moment. So you need that darkest moment
Mm.
for the light to come through. And when you're in the dungeons, when you're in that dark moment, be aware, be conscious, pull it in, take it in, because you'll need it to help somebody else who's in the dark.
Yeah.
Because most people, what they don't know is that wisdom only comes from their experience, not just the
Yes.
knowledge.
Right.
I know people who have been in a dark spot, and we all know, yeah, it's really dark. Yeah, yeah. But you haven't experienced it.
Mm.
You don't really know it yet.
Yeah.
Right. So sharing that passion for telling people that, things will be better.
Mm.
You can go through this. And entrepreneurship, everybody can try it, but it's not for everyone.
No.
If you feel scared, then get a job and a paycheck. If it scares you, to death, then don't die.
It's not worth it. Don't do it.
So no, don't do it. Don't do it. You know?
Now, I do have to ask, when you were in those darker times, especially during that 2.5 years, like during COVID, did you ever think at one point, "Oh, maybe I should just get a job for a minute?" Or were you like, "Nah,
No,
I'm gonna make this work"? No, never.
no. I just
Wow.
went online, and it was a horrible time for me because my body, I was working Eastern Standard Time, basically. Well, I wanted to learn new things online
Mm.
as well. So, and most of the calls, everything what that was live was like 3 in the morning my time,
Oof.
So um I ended up my whole clock system, but I took the time to learn and study and get up to date with the internet and stuff and things that I hadn't learned, that I
Wow.
didn't want to learn. There are many things that I still don't want to know exactly how to do them, but I want to drive the vehicle.
Right.
I want the vehicle built and I want to drive.
Yeah.
But
Gosh, I
I
feel
don't
like
want
that's a masterclass in and of itself in the entrepreneur journey. You you are gonna do so many things and learn so many things that you never thought you'd learn ever, but you have to because it's part of it.
and if you choose to be an entrepreneur, there comes a point of no return. Um yeah, then you know, not unemployed, but unemployable. I
Yeah.
employ myself,
Yes.
right? Because people say, oh, so you don't have a boss. No, every business needs a boss.
Mhm.
You are the boss.
You're the boss. Yep. And your clients can also, you have to they have to respect you, you have to respect them.
Exactly.
They
You
like,
know,
you're never without some type of authority. That's a really good point. It's just the way that you choose to have it in your life and where you
exactly.
choose to give that power.
Exactly.
I am unemployable, 100%.
Right?
Like,
How do you
100%.
know?
I do think there is that flip, and once you've had a taste of entrepreneurial life, and by no means is
Freedom.
it any easier or better than another life. If you're an employee, my partner is an employee and she loves it. She loves a steady schedule. She loves a paycheck. She loves things being regular. Like this life that we live, Masada, she would hate it. And that's,
Okay.
great for her. Like, and so she loves that. Um, but for me, being in this living my life like this, it's truly impossible to go back for me.
Right. Right. And one thing I believe, 3% entrepreneurs can look after 100% of the people.
Mm.
So
3% can look
yeah,
after
you don't need,
100%.
yeah, can cater for everybody,
Mm.
you know? If 3% of the doctors are specialists in a particular area, they can take care of 100% of the people.
Mm.
It's not, we don't need a large percentage
Right.
of, you know, entrepreneurship is hard,
Yes.
but you gotta have the passion for it. If you don't like walking, so why are you taking a walk from New York to Orlando?
Yeah, probably not for you. Figure out something else you wanna do.
you know,
Yeah.
take a flight, you know,
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah,
see
but
Disney like that as well.
yeah.
Just like, you know, it still
Mm.
that mindset that, I want to work for somebody and get a paycheck, and
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. But he couldn't see himself leaving the company
Mm.
until the company threw him out. So he could
Mhm.
get to another company where
Right.
he's having much more fun now.
Well, that's good. At least it was a positive
Right.
change, and he thought he couldn't even do better, and there he did.
Exactly.
When you say you hope you have more leverage, so what do you time leverage, financial leverage? What kind of leverage are you looking to have?
Right. You mentioned time leverage. A day has got 68,400 seconds.
He
You
lives
can't
by
leverage.
seconds.
You
Listen
can't,
to that. Yeah,
right.
we all have the same
You can't,
amount in a day.
everybody's got the same. Everybody's got the same. So if you want to leverage other people's time, that's possible.
Yes.
You can leverage other people's time. Um, but I'm also looking at, I want to have enough money to be able to support my niche
Yes.
that I like to work in, to help them even create more abundance, first for themselves, for their families, and for society.
Mm.
So the things that I do right now, I'm content. I'm really satisfied. I might probably buy a new racing bike, you know, instead of racing around beautiful Austria. I'll be doing it maybe in Orlando. I don't know, take a flight. But
Yeah.
in principle, it won't change much
Yeah.
because I can have that beautiful life right here where I am.
Right.
Right. So material things, I don't really need much more. I need to make an impact and I need to have the skill set. I want to have that machine that pulls the people in
Mm.
so that they can have a choice to either do it or not to do it.
Mm.
But I want to have the opportunity to give them that choice
Yeah.
to say, hey, you know what? You're, you've got far much more potential in you than you believe you have. You can do far much better for yourself first, you know?
Yeah.
Last week, I had a workshop with about 100 people, and I asked the question, who's the most important person in your life?
Mm.
Most of them, my mom, my partner, my children, and everything. And I said, there's a particular suggestion. All those people are important, but I asked for who is the most important person in your life.
Mm.
And what I wanted to hear was me,
Mm.
because without you, everything else doesn't matter.
It's true.
When you exit, that's it.
Yep.
You know, somebody
100%.
else will marry your partner.
Yeah.
Somebody else will look after your kids.
Yeah.
Don't worry about your millions and your car.
Yeah.
Don't worry about all that. Something else is going to happen.
Yeah.
So the most important person in your life must be you.
Mm.
Must be you. So what are you doing since you're the most important person in your life for you?
Mm.
Are you maximizing that? You know, are
Mm.
you giving to others? What's happening? Why were you born?
Mm.
Why were you born where you were born?
Yeah.
What's your mission? What's your purpose? What's your reason? Have
Love
you
it.
thought about it? Have you written it down on a paper? If I ask you to write down on a piece of paper all the things you don't want, you'll have that paper full within minutes.
Mm.
And if I say write down what you want, exactly what you want, so this is what I want. I want to leverage this feeling. I want other people to know about it. I want people to feel their feelings.
Mm.
I want people to make progress. And I also want those people who say they want to have a side hustle and be an entrepreneur and still have a steady job. Yes, there are ways of leveraging your activities and build an entrepreneurial lifestyle whilst being having a job. The cash flow quadrant, you can be in all four quadrants at the same time.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. You can be in all four quadrants. Why not?
Yeah. Especially
You
if
know?
you're a little nervous, that can help you feel not so nervous, not so scared.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's a way to dip your toe in the water. So I love that. I love that at the end of the day, what you really want, you want, and this is what I hear from most fully, like, what I would call mm, satisfied entrepreneurs. Deeply satisfied. Yes, we want to grow, we want to change, but honestly, the thing that they say is, it's what I'm doing. I want more of it. I just want more of
Right.
it. I want more people to know it, and that it's such a beautiful answer, and it's what you just
Yes.
gave.
Yes.
And may you have more of that this year for sure. And I
Thank
hope
you.
this podcast helps too, because it's been so wonderful. I didn't know about you and what you were doing until this podcast. There's going to be people listening who find out about you and what you're doing. So very much what you just said there, it's already happening as well, which
Right.
is lovely. If someone Googled your company right now and landed on your website, would they lean in and want to learn more, or would they quietly say, yikes, and close the tab? Your website is your first impression, and it's either drawing clients in or losing deals right and left. Whether we like it or not, people do still judge books by their covers, and your clients are making decisions about your business before they ever even reach out. At my company, Archer Collaborative, we design high-end strategic websites for businesses whose founders are ready for their online presence to finally align with the quality and professionalism they bring to their clients every day. Our designs are not just pretty. We bring full custom layouts, clear positioning, intentional structure, and smart systems behind the scenes, so your site actually supports your growth. If your business is doing incredible work, but your website still looks like you built it at 11 p.m. 3 years ago, then it's time to let us help you. Visit archercollaborative.com today, and let's build something that is finally worthy of your business and its stellar reputation. So I do have a question I love to ask every guest. And you don't have to give, so I'm giving you three options. You don't have to give an answer for each, but you can pick one, or you can pick two or three if you'd like.
Okay.
But I would love to have either a book, a podcast, or a social profile that you recommend listeners to check out. So whichever one, you can pick, you can just recommend a book, you can just recommend a podcast, but something you recommend that you think the listeners can
Right.
grow from.
Let me.
Oh, I love you have it right there. Pulled off for people listening, he just pulled it off the shelf. The Master Key System. And I see some Austrian there at the bottom.
Yes,
Right?
yes, yes. The universal key to a successful life,
Love it.
right?
And
So
author, what's
Charles
the
F.
author on there?
Charles F. Hanel.
Charles F. Hanel. Haanel.
Yes, that's the master key.
Excellent.
This is the book that Napoleon Hill was gifted by Andrew Carnegie.
Oh.
And from this book, he wrote Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I had no idea.
Well, I first read Think and Grow Rich,
Yeah.
listened to it maybe 100 times. And then somebody told me, he got the ideas from the master key system. And I said, never, ever. So when I got the master key system in my hands, and I looked at it, boom, I could see it straight away.
Nice.
I could see straight away that that's where this information came from.
I love that.
Right.
Okay, so that is a great one. And
Yes.
maybe even before reading Think and Grow Rich, if you haven't, check out this one first.
I think and Grow Rich first
Oh,
is
first?
probably better
Oh,
because
still okay.
yeah, because these concepts and things when people start telling you stuff that you know sounds
Still
a
Think
little
and Grow Rich first.
right,
Okay, because
right.
that is more tolerating to the palate that way, and
Yes,
then go to
yes,
got it.
yes,
Okay.
yes. But the Master Key System by Charles F. Hanel, you can listen to the audios. There's everything.
Okay. I love that. Thank you for that recommendation. And then I have 2 more questions for you,
Right.
Masada. Okay. One question is if someone could take away just one thing, one message from our conversation today, the entrepreneurs listening, what is that one message you'd like them to have?
Believe in your potential.
Mm,
It's all within you. It's all within everything.
yeah, that's beautiful. Do it. Believe in yourself. So
Yes.
simple, but so powerful.
Yes.
Believe in your potential. And you've done that since day one. Your father believed in you.
Yes. Well, I didn't even know that I believed in myself
Mm.
until other people told me.
Like you,
My father, like my dad,
your
like just
dad. Uh huh.
telling me,
He
and
believed in you.
I left my mom out, but my mom also played a very big role.
Love
You know,
that.
mom in heaven,
Mm.
you're my mom, and you played a great role as well.
Excellent. Excellent. And again, tying that back to the full circle of life, and she's still inspiring you today as
Yes,
we sit here, and this is
yes,
what we're talking about. It's
yes.
beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay, and then the last question, very important to your goal for the year. And
This year or next year?
for if we're sitting down talking next year, but from the 2 goals you told me about, people who are listening now, who want to know more, learn more, follow along, they want to even work with you, how can they find you? Where can we for the people listening, this will always be dropped in the show notes, so you will have the links there too, but where can they find you and follow along? And if they wanna work with you, how can they do that?
Well, I think next year will be better because this year, um, I have a feeling that my online presence is like a dinosaur,
You're not alone in that. A lot of people have the dinosaur online presence. Yep.
right? So, and with that, um, yeah, I would like to have like my MrMoveIt.org website to be like up to date,
Yeah.
up to date. Um, I'm looking for collaboration with entrepreneurs who are movers and shakers,
Mm.
so we could collaborate
Yeah.
and help each other, especially right now where I believe that the what are they called? Usually they're called the early um what's the English word? Early adapters.
Mm.
The
Mhm.
early adapters to the AI,
Mhm.
it's coming to an end. We're already coming in the first majority, I think, right now.
Yep.
It's not late. I believe that with my energy, with my ideas, with Movetivation, with the things I've cultivated by myself in the last 35 years, you know, um, I've avoided following my great. I'm a fan of lots of people, right? But I don't want to follow you too close because otherwise most of your stuff will influence me,
Right.
and I want to be inspired from somewhere else, you
Mm.
know, and noticing the pattern of living a successful life.
Mhm.
What does that mean? Right. So for me, this is where I want to go. People can find me on Facebook at the moment. Um,
Is it under Mr. Move It or
Mr. Move
Masada?
It,
Under
Mr.
Mr.
Move It.
Move It. Okay, Mr.
Um,
Move It is his name out there. Yeah. So Masada, his real name, of course, but Mr. Move It. So if you are looking for him, so on Facebook,
yes,
do you have
MR.
an Instagram?
Yes, Instagram
Excellent.
as well. Mr. Move It on Instagram. MrMoveIt.org is still my landing page, it's still there.
Yeah.
And through you, basically, you
Excellent.
could send them to me, and I'm hoping that there'll be these are what I like to call top of the funnel activities,
Yeah.
so promoting, marketing, and selling.
Yes.
And then comes the delivery.
Yep.
And when it comes to the delivery of Movetivation and my ideas, this is very clear. I've got a lot of experience. Um, Over 100,000 people have been touched by these concepts already. So I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking for people who are looking for some fuel,
Yes.
who are also ready to go. And that's like the key point that I've learned, not to demand that somebody moves forward in life, but only looking for those that are looking and don't know that they're looking.
Mm. Yes.
Yeah, there are lots of those. You know,
Yeah.
you're looking, and I'm not looking, but so why did you listen to the podcast? Why did you reach out? You are looking.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for those who are looking.
Yes.
Because this is hard. It's hard work.
Yes.
And and you want people who accept it from the beginning. And I'm not going to tell you anything else.
Yeah.
No sugarcoating
Yeah.
whatsoever, because this is hard work. Taking a walk from New York to Orlando is not easy.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah.
It's simple.
It's simple, but it is not easy.
Exactly. Like entrepreneurs, for me as well, with an end goal of actually creating some revenue
Yes.
from what we do.
Yes.
Um, uh, Not just, freebies and this, but having a system where the entrepreneurial spirit and the outcome is also some financial gain,
Yeah.
you know, you
Yeah.
know, so dear entrepreneur, how can I help you make more money?
Mm. Which is so many
You know,
people's question. Yeah.
it's that. How can I help you make more money? Because if you make more money, then I'll make more money.
Yeah. Again, it's that energy. It's the
You're right.
energy flowing.
Right.
And I think, we have so much good energy between all of us and in what we're doing, that the more you combine the forces, the better, like you're saying there, the better it is. If you make more, I make more.
Exactly.
It's wonderful.
Synergy.
Yeah, synergy. So I love that. So for those of you listening, I will tag in his website. I will tag in his Facebook and his Instagram, Mr. Move It, and you will be able to check it out, follow along. He has so much true wisdom to share. I can see why your children call you for some inspiration after a tough day. And so if you want a bit of that too, check out Mr. Move It. And Mr. Move It, thank you so much for being on
Thank
this
you.
podcast and for
Thank you.
sharing.
Thank you very much for your time. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's what we hope at the end of the day, that it's also fun. So thank you so much. And I have no doubt we'll probably be chatting again soon.
Okay. Wonderful.
All right.
If there's one thing to take away from today's conversation, it's this. Progress doesn't come from thinking about it. It comes from doing. It reminded us that clarity comes through action, that resilience is built step by step, and that the journey matters just as much, if not more, than the destination. If this episode resonated with you, be sure to connect with him. You can find all his links in the show notes, including his website at mrmoveit.org and his social platforms under Mr. Move It. And if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a review. Thanks for listening, and until next time, go get 'em.